Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's well. Happy Monday. For those that are tuning in another date, happy whatever day it is you're tuning in. Another week. May is chugging along. We've been talking a lot about this idea of deliberate practice, what it comes from, how change happens. And the reason why we're doing it is because, I don't know about you, but the more I hear about change, the more I want to actually do it. One of the great misconceptions that I get is that people feel like if you're into change, then like you're in the camp of like motivation. Are you a motivational speaker? What does that even mean? Meaning, like, are you like into like motivation? Like, am I into motivation? Am I into trying to change your life for the better? Yeah. And there's like this sense that if you're into motivation, then it's not real. It's not actual. And there's a truth to that, because motivation feels good. It feels good to be motivated. We spoke about this yesterday, about this idea of I remember living it as a young lawyer in these diligence rooms, this feeling where when you're involved in something that's motivating, it feels like there's hope. When you hear a speech or a story or something that gives you motivation, that does something to you, and that feeling into itself makes you feel better. That's why people are distracting themselves all the time. Whether the motivation is coming from a speech or from a book or from a movie about someone else's life who worked hard, or from a sports game, watching somebody else overcome challenge. So many of us, when grappling with life, as opposed to hitting it head on, find a way to distract ourselves in things that are motivating, because the motivation in its own feels good. We don't realize it, that the reason why we love movies that are underdogs that win, that are rags to riches stories, the reason why we love sporting games that are close, the reason why we love hearing about people that overcame challenge, is because a part of that is our identification with it, even at a subconscious level. And so what's happening is that's motivating us. We've, in a way, given up on ourselves. So we're allowing ourselves to live the life of growth and of change and of accomplishment through somebody else that we identify with. So we identify with a team, and we'll wear the jerseys of the players, and we will say, we're number one. We'll identify with a political group, even though many people identify with political groups and they don't know any level of depth of the policies. Some do, many don't. If you ever get into like a real discussion with somebody about something and you get like 3 rounds in, not like what the media says, like not the platitudes, like 3 rounds in, most people have no real idea. They like have an inclination, but a lot of it is just politics is now sports. So you pick your team and hope that they win. So this world of motivation is critical. We got to keep it up. As Zig Ziglar once said, it's like showering. It's so important, you got to do it every day. But if it's not translating to action, if it's not translating to something that we're doing, then we're wasting this incredible resource. We're standing still and we're just going around and around on the motivation, versus using this motivation as a way to make us better people. That's really the goal here. That's really that's really the task at hand, is to enable us to grow in our lives using motivation. But where the growth happens is in the rituals. It's in the daily actions. It's in the things that are coming at us on a daily basis. It's when we change our minds, and as a result, the world feels normal in this new way. That's where the change takes place. The motivation only gets you there. And what I want to talk about a little bit today is I got a couple of questions about this. For those that are emailing me questions, thank you. And there's a couple of them that just sort of hit a theme, that they were asking for something that they weren't even asking for it. And I was trying to get underneath their questions, and it dawned on me where their questions were coming from. There's a huge block to all of this. There's a huge block in this world of motivation, in this world of change, in rituals, in the work that we're talking about. And it is not our capacity. We've got plenty of capacity. We've got plenty of ability to get stuff done. We're smart enough. We're strong enough. We have a piece of God inside us. And many people, especially during this period of time, are realizing that. People that didn't think that they were as powerful and as strong and as resilient and as patient as they are. What's really blocking us from really delving into a world of change is multiple things, but I want to go one at a time. It's an impatience to become something. You see, when you see what you want to be, when you sense what you want to have, once your mind can see it, your mind has the ability to really, if you really focus on it, sort of grab the contours of it. And you want to be there already. Once you see that you can get over a problem, you want to get over it already. Once you see that you can accomplish something, you want to figure out how to get there already. Once we want something, our inclination is to go out and get it right away. And what happens to us is that the work that takes place between where I am and how do I get it, the work is not as valued because it's only trying to get us to the goal. I want to get there. How much longer is it going to take? Okay, I started doing this thing. When can I see results? When you live in a world where every day they're telling you, if you do this for 24 hours, you'll start seeing results. Do you want to be rich overnight? Do you want to fast track success? When you see individuals on covers of magazines that they can barely drink legally, and they're already up to their first whatever illion, there's a sense that gets created that I can get it quick. Why not just get it quick? How come he has it quick? When can I get this already? I got a call from someone recently, and they're very young. And he wanted to get, I guess, a larger following on social media and whatever. So he just started. I think he's in high school or college. Like, he just started. And like he's achieving some success. And he's like, how do I 10x it? I'm like, how do you 10x what? You just started. Like, you're already at the end of it. And this happens especially if you're a little older. Because if you're already in your life, there are people behind you that have the things that you want. So you're like, well, they already have it. You see the panic when it comes to people that are dating. As they get older, they start to say, well, people are already having it. People that are in their careers, and they're seeing people that are younger accomplishing things they're not. When you look around to the world that we have, because the world is such a bottom line world, that's what happens when you live in a material world. It's not anyone's fault. That's just what material life is. It's comparative. It's comparable. It's competitive. It's not on purpose. It's just the reality. That's how else are you going to grade students if you're not going to give them a grade? And even as much as you say it's everyone to himself, the kid's going to ask the kid next to him, what'd you get? And then if you got less than him, even if the kid who got a 70 is a superstar, and the kid who got a 90 is really achieving a portion of his potential, it doesn't matter. There's always this sense of who's in and who's out and when and how come. There's so many questions. And then one person said to me once, well, why is this happening to me for? My husband doesn't have this issue. My children don't have this issue. My mom doesn't have this issue. How come when my grandparents did this, this wasn't an issue for them? Why is it happening to me? Doesn't happen to my brother. The questions, the all of the thought that goes around the ritual sucks the energy out of what we need to put into the ritual. I want to become kinder. So I'm going to try to give every single day. We had this great thing yesterday called Daily Giving. It's awesome, dailygiving.org. I did this. They had this event yesterday. It's $1 a day. But I want to give more. When do I get there, Eddie? I'm working on my business. I got this great idea. When do you think I'm going to hit my first whatever? I'm working on my marriage. When am I going to have an incredible marriage? When is she totally going to get me? When am I totally going to understand this piece of Talmud that I'm reading? This job that I have? When? When we live in this world, what's blocking us from our rituals is the things that we put on the rituals. That, by the way, is one of the things that we lose as we get into this world. That's why kids rock. Because kids get this at such a high level. And because their conscious minds aren't developed enough. So they don't have these thoughts and they're free to actually just do the thing. Like you watch a kid play Lego and the kid's in the Lego. And you're already like, when is it over? When is it over? Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? It's just Lego. You're going to break it down anyways. I got to clean this up tonight anyways. Like, let's go. And the kid's looking at you like, what? Like, yes, 2-3 days ago, my son, my youngest son, says to me, Daddy, let's play. I'm like, play what? He's like, play. I'm like, a game? He's like, no, just play. I'm in my head. I'm like, what? What do you mean just play? Are we going to compete? Like, what are we doing? He's like, just take toys and let's just play. Like, you to be these toys, these people, I'll be these people, and let's just play. I'm like, what are you kidding me? Like that is like, I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, if we can compete, maybe like we'll compete at something, like we'll play against each other, but just to play. And I'm watching him play, and he's lost in this imaginary world that he created for himself. He couldn't be happier with like 3 figurines and a truck, and he's like saving the world. Now, okay, he's a kid, but his ability to just sort of like descend into this space and just be there without having to worry about like, is somebody. And we're all like this. I watched this mom yesterday as I was driving. She's with her kids on this busy street. They're riding bikes because everybody rides bikes now. This is like the newest thing. On a busy street. And she's got her hand in her phone. I'm thinking, what in the world could possibly be important? Unless you are an ER nurse on a Sunday afternoon with your 3 kids riding bikes on a 4-lane highway street. You're on, really? It's not doing it on purpose. It's what's coming. I don't know. I'm bored for a second. What can I check? What can I do? Am I there? Am I here? The world has taken our brains and sent so many millions of stimuli at us that if we just breathe for a minute and we're not being stimulated, we think something's wrong with us. And we're like wondering, like, why can't I work on my rituals? I don't understand. Why can't I give myself an hour in the morning to plan my day? We've been talking about it for a week and a half. You know how hard that is? 30 minutes to plan my own day? I could be doing something. I could be scrolling through something. I could be there already. I could be moving there already. When I have my ritual and I start doing it for 1-2 days, why am I not there yet? This pace that we have become accustomed to is destroying us. It's destroying us. This need to be constantly in contact, to be fit. We're like playing ping pong with social media, between emails and between texts and WhatsApp all day long. This feeling that I need to get there already when I'm doing my ritual versus I'm here now and I'm just going to enjoy this part of my day, because this part of my day is going to make me a better person. And it doesn't really matter if I show up to my ping pong life 5 minutes later. And it's not really going to matter if I respond to that person in 3 hours from now. A lot of what I do during my day is the chatter around the most important parts of my day. And we do this because it's like a safety net from us. If you scroll through your emails today, I bet you there are 5 emails in that list that are the most important. But when you start dealing with everything, by the time you get to the most important ones, you're like, you know what? This is really exhausting. I'll do this tomorrow. When you come to your home, even now, if you're sitting in your home, at the end of an exhausting day, if you really look at your day, a lot of it is exhausting and inconsequential, or could have been pushed off. And the things that are the most important things in our lives are things that we do when we're sapped of our energy. Life is not running around with an M16 shooting everything. Life is the sharpshooter. And I know exactly what you're saying, because I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, well, you didn't have my life. I got a million things coming at me every day. Yeah, I hear you. But a lot of the reason why we have a million things coming at us every day is because we haven't ritualized our days enough. We haven't held on to those parts of our day that's going to change us and make us qualitatively different. So we're just dealing with the same thing again and again and again. If we're thinking when we should be thinking, then we act a lot quicker, a lot better, and the actions are much more impactful. If when we're doing a ritual, if we're actually writing out our rituals and trying to add rituals to our lives, and for those that are here for the first time, thanks for joining. Go back a few times and you'll get it. If not, we'll explain it again. These are the rituals that are going to change my mind, that'll make the things that I do at the level that I want to do them feel normal. Which means if I just stick with my ritual and stop running through it and start to see it and work it, at some point, that's going to feel normal and it's going to require less energy. That's the best investment of my time. And if I keep on missing it and I keep on running through it, and if I don't have the time to do a ritual for my own life, why do I expect my life to change at all? Why do I expect June to be different than May, but for a little bit of weather, if I'm not actually doing things in May that are going to qualitatively change me? Try this. Just try to allocate parts of your day for things that are much more meaningful, for time to plan and to review, for rituals that you're doing to change your life, and watch as you squash the stuff that takes up most of our day into smaller groups. Watch, you'll be able to get through that. If you take all the stuff let's take emails and calls and the stuff that takes time, and we say, I'm doing it for 1 hour, and it's one strong hour of just emails, or just phone calls, or just returning the calls, or just doing the thing that's chattering our lives. Watch, if you truncate it, you'll get just as much done. You'll get 85% of it done. Our greatest block to our own success is ourselves. It's not anyone around us. It's our minds, our schemas. It's the block that's holding us back from becoming who we should be. And when we allow ourselves to breathe, when we look at our days and say, if I'm a professional, how do I structure my day right? And we start to quiet the noise of impatience, the chatter, and we focus on what's the qualitatively most important things in my day, we start moving exponentially. We'll talk about this a little more. Tomorrow we'll get back into the particulars of the rituals, but we got to get this. Because if we're living our lives and going 100 miles an hour, we can talk all day. It's not going to actually change. And that's what we got to do. We got to actually change. We got to be different, better versions of ourselves. That's why we're alive. That's why God opened up our eyes. Because he said, there's something you got to do today that you couldn't do yesterday. It's the greatest thing to do, to try to be better every day. And it's an honor to do it with you every single morning. So thanks so much for tuning in and making it an awesome day. And with God's help, I really can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.